Get this updated here. We might try out, oh, are we live here? Okay, good. We might try out some Maokai or some Nami tonight. We'll see. We might just do some recon. But if we see a spot, we might try out some of these other things. What's up, Tiny? What up, bruh? Dan Renekton, that's weird. And dude, I wonder if he was in a previous game with that guy or something. You me, huh? Ezreal is not what I wanted to see. First time Ezreal. This might be a dodge.
The isles will bloom again.
Oh, is there already another Yuumi? Okay, with new mating. Pretty good on Zach. I have a fairly hard time dealing with Olaf, but hell, I guess we'll try it out. We're kind of close to 0 OP, so we'll get a lot of this loss clipped if we end up losing it. I'm pretty excited about next patch if it goes through. It looks like they might be buffing Ingenious Hunter by quite a bit. Predator Recon, baby. God, I wish there was a way that you could have multiple of those hunters, though.
The water of life succumbed to death. Follow.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Every step defiance.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
I don't think my state's in quarantine yet.
There is beauty here.
Predator Recon would not be until next patch.
Humans fear.
Minions have spawned.
Well, hey, what's up, Flight Falcon? I am pretty low on LP, so if I lose it, whatever, let's go to 0. Wish it told you how much time you had left on the sapling. Okay, so he's just straight up saying we're never gonna fight ever, basically. Yeah, we're trying out Maokai. Like, at least play Vayne. You know, that's my thing, is if you're gonna play Ezreal, just at least play Vayne. I don't know. Either one is great, but at least, like, Vayne scales. You know, at some point, you're like, damn, you know, Vayne's healing off at, like, 2 items. Or even Kaisa. I don't know. Like I said, my win rate with Ezreal is okay. It just feels bad.
Protect what is yours.
no, you can't. With you can't really go on anybody with easy unless your support is like Brand or something, and you hit them with a full combo. Like just something with like extreme damage as a support. I mean, Maokai does quite a bit. It does a lot more than people would think, but yeah, probably not enough. So we're giving a free lane to Yumi, which is not amazing. Just trying to get a little space.
So much stone.
Could be doing dragon. Oh. Oh, whatever. Okay, he is actually there. Dude, is he actually gonna get all of them? That's pretty obnoxious.
An enemy has been slain.
Misuse of magic.
Does Riot require you to use PayPal now to buy skins? That seems odd. Yeah. Silas, I mean, his win rate's not insane, but I've seen really good Silases over the last few days.
An enemy has been slain.
Could be doing dragon. They probably will. It's action nodding on top when we have to back bottom. Yeah, it's definitely dragon.
Drink deep of what magic remains.
Textbook. He should have stayed bottom while they backed. I mean, we could have done it. Holy shit. Am I getting dove? Why would she just blow that right there?
nature's bidding.
We're just literally sitting here having a farm off, and Ezreal's down like 50% CS. Just basically playing against bots here.
Reckless mortals.
I don't know. I'm just an Ezreal hater. I just don't understand. I mean, he's cool. He's relatively safe, I suppose, but
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Mortals irritate me like an itch beneath my bark.
Double kill.
okay. God, Zach's going off. I think I'm just gonna try out going for
Godlike.
this early on.
The shadow has
Well, I kind of want to see how my mana does, because I do have presence of mind to help out, and your mana pool, like, you shouldn't require that much mana, so I'm not sure if I want to pay up for mana. Sadie. See if I can just rush that item, Gargoyle, and then maybe Shrelia's after that. Leandri's is an okay luxury item on him, too.
Turret plating will soon fall.
Yeah. Painful. was like, where's that noise? That's the cat licking this plate.
Has destroyed a turret.
Fight for saplings.
Zach's having fun, yeah. I didn't mean to troll the Ori there. I thought they were gonna get those. It's my bad.
An ally has been slain.
I've been a fire beast, not the smallest branch.
This is rank, yes. Are they gonna use that top, probably?
The mist haunts my every move, yet I resist.
Maybe you should even rush Aurelia's first item if your team's ahead. I mean, it's got 300 health on it. I guess we'll get the tower plus middle.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Yeah, Malachi's good. Looks like something just swept one on board there. I don't think Shin support's that great right now. I mean, he's so conditional on hitting his taunt. He can be okay, I guess, if you're using your ult, making like good global plays with him, but
Didn't
not even entirely sure what I want here. I guess we can just get a one of these and see later. You know, as I always say, if you're winning on something, keep playing on it, but it feels a little underwhelming to me right now. Although, you know, there are some circumstances. If your team stands under the, your, whatever it is, your dodge E, if they have a lot of ranged attackers, and you get a really good value out of your E, or maybe your Spirit Refuge. I guess it's your, is it your W? I think it's your W. If they get a lot of value out of your Spirit Refuge with the dodge, you know, maybe that works. Or selectively against something like a Master Yi. If people stand next to your dodge, it can be really good. Why does she take no damage? She's got Abyssal Mask, but holy crap. We do need to get Baron. She was a lot harder to kill than it seemed. I don't remember if Yumi was on her or what, but... Guess let's go for a Knight's Vow next. Yeah, the mana feels fine. So I think that maybe you don't need a mana item on him. With just Presence of Mind. We do have a lot of AP on our team. You know, Abyssal may not be that bad for me to get. I thought about that. Oh, Malachi, maybe it would My W didn't go off? Or my R didn't go off? Against that fed Diana, it is going to be hard to team fight him now because Ezreal just doesn't do any damage. Damage is getting pretty low on these fights, mate. Maybe I need to go for Leandre's. It feels like we just don't have quite the damage. Maybe if I have this on Silas, though. I think the misfortune ult kind of melted us. Keep him slowed, keep him slowed. Oh my god, why can't I get in range? We got him. I think of Cheese as doing something that's unexpected and risky. Like, if it doesn't work out, then it's going to be a huge penalty. Unusual, risky, and unexpected. There are some, like, real, like, just because something's cheese doesn't mean that it can't be good. So, like, saying that someone's challenger, or that, like, implying that a challenger person can't do cheese, I don't think that necessarily means anything. Because, like, challenger, you'll hear, like, even pro games talked about is sometimes someone's going for a cheesy team comp or something like that. Tarek top, I think there are better choices. It can work, but unless you're doing some kind of funneling strat with a jungle, I think there are probably better choices. I mean, I haven't seen it a lot, to be fair, but... yeah, I've talked about Maokai Sport for several patches now. Well, you gotta be careful with Malachi around towers. You don't want to W people and have them pull you under tower with like a flash or something like that. His base movement speed's actually kind of fast, I feel like. I felt pretty fast running around with him. I mean, your Q has a knockback and a slow component to it. Your E has a slow component to it. Like, there are ways to get out of stuff. But if you dive under tower, ideally, if there are enemy minions around, you want to not use your W, because you can use your W as a tower aggro reset, because it makes you untargetable. So it's kind of like an Elise or a Fizz, where you can have a tower shot incoming and then W onto an enemy minion and it'll cancel it and reset the aggro. So, you know, ideally you want to do something like grab the aggro with your E or your R or your Q, or just something other than your W.
Is that fear I smell?
Something other than your W, and then use your W to reset if there are enemy minions nearby. Try Caitlyn out. We have a lot of AD though. Okay, we'll just do Cassio then. Syndra could be fun too, but I think we'll just do Cassio.
There is no
Yeah, I've done Syndra bot a couple of times. It's got good burst. I would say the sustained damage a little bit less so, but a lot of Cassios are going the Conquer. Some of them are going Adaptive Force. Or, not Adaptive Force, Phase Rush. You lose out on a lot of sustain by going Phase Rush, though, because you have to end up going, you need Presence of Mind, for sure. So you have to go Presence of Mind, Coup de Grace, probably. And then that means you're missing out on Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter and Conquer. So that's like 20% spell vamp or something crazy. It's a lot of spell vamp you're missing out on, so. Malzahar's probably okay. It's AP carry. I haven't played him in a while. I think his numbers are pretty low. Sadie, stop. Wait a second. What are you even licking? Is there even anything on that plate? I guess there's some very small remnants of cheese. Yeah, you also can't stop the Malachi W pretty much when it gets on you. It's surprisingly very short range. So, you know, that last fight, we barely caught up to him. It took Ezreal hitting like 3 or 4 Qs for us to be able to catch up to him. That's why I think the Shirelias, maybe the Shirelias can be a rush item. Aftershock is really good. I'm wondering if running something like Predator with Shirelias or something like that could be good. I've always wanted Ingenious Hunter to be good, but like next patch they're thinking about making it 60%, up to 60% off your item actives, but they are making making it only 50% as effective for trinkets, so you don't have as many sweepers as far as like pro play is concerned. But you still would get 60% off of Predator, and then 60% off of Shirelia's, 60% off of Redemption, Gargoyle. We'll see. I mean, Fiddle's barely a support right now. But yeah, I think he's intended to be jungle. I'm not sure about those numbers. It feels like his ult is really powerful now if you hit multiple people immediately when you come out of invisibility. Because it gets the fear off. Potentially AoE fear. Like, the only time I would consider going bombies, like what you're seeing with Maokai when he's played support at high elos, it's with Fasting Senna. So those are places where you see, like, Sunfire Cape, when the support's basically the AD carry, and the Senna is just fasting. Like, that's when you see Maokai. If you see him, that's a lot of when you're seeing him. As a support anyways. Yeah, so when you see him as support down here, you'll see him go things like Sunfire, Gargoyle, all of this stuff. It's almost always because they have a Senna on their team. Like right there, it's the Senna. So he's getting paired instead of Tom Kench with Fasting Senna. It looks like this guy, Barry L, is pretty much one of the only people doing it. Phonace is doing it. Now that's just with like straight up not even fasting, so I don't know, maybe there is something to it. I'll have to look at Cinder again, but in general, maybe if they have an Ultra 80 item, but I think you're paying a lot for the AoE. Damn it, Yi got through. I might try out Caitlyn here.
I'm on the case.
Guess I could have gone like Boots biscuits or something like that, but I'm not sure, Josh, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't watch a ton of live streamers when I'm not streaming. I'm usually working on either class stuff or channel stuff. Yeah, I still just don't, I don't think it's worth it in general. I would rather just have like a Knight's Vow or just something, lock it, something that benefits your team.
Time for a shift then.
I really thought about doing Presence of Mind for the mana,
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
but
30 seconds until minions spawn. First blood. Minions have spawned.
It is going to be difficult to deal with E. I mean, maybe I should have banned Yi. I don't know. I banned Cat, but Yi is just always such a terror at this
I have
elo.
the tools for the job.
Nah, I play support like 99% of the time. This is on my Smurf account. I'm trying to practice some ADC. Usually I play Cassiopeia, but trying out Caitlyn also.
Me? Miss? Not by a long shot.
Okay, so they are just pushing immediately, level 1. Damn, that was some really bad RNG. Like, all of our minions just hard focused one of theirs.
Meet the long gun of the law.
Yeah, so we ended up losing one of our minions like super early.
Hot on the train. Let's investigate. Sorry, girl. I keep the fuzzy cats tame.
CS is so terrible here.
Don't be caught flat. Boom. Headshot.
An ally has been slain.
Up for a throwdown. Right.
Hey, thanks for the sub. I appreciate it.
Got you in my sights.
An enemy has been slain.
Want to see a hat trick? Time for a shakedown.
screwed that up. I didn't have to flash, I don't think.
Bottom of place.
Okay, I guess we'll just push here. I think he's TPing back, right? Yeah. So that's annoying.
Doesn't like being under the gun.
Wow, I'm only up 2 CS? I thought we were pressuring him a lot harder than that.
Me? Miss? Not by a long shot.
Eh.
Let's investigate.
Does he have Sheen? Okay, so he's not stacking his tier. I like that.
Who's the long gun of the line? Don't be caught flat-footed.
An ally has been slain.
Yeah, Lissandra flank's pretty rough.
Want to see a hatch? No. Behind. Sorry, boys. I keep the fuzzy cats at home. Up for a showdown?
He's gonna be hiding in one of these bushes, the brand. I just have to go attack.
Right.
Yeah, I did the EQ before. It costs a lot of mana. Ideally, you want him to step on a trap, and then you E back Q, and then hit him again. It's not really a bronze game. I'm bronze, but we're playing against, like, we have been playing against gold 2s and gold 3s.
Got new sights.
Enemy killing spree.
I just don't have as much power as I do with Cassio. I probably should have just played Cassio. If your support's just not... I mean, Bard is selectively applying some pressure, but it's just not enough.
Me? Miss? Not by a long shot.
Annoying. I shouldn't have walked up to that. I thought he wasn't going to be close enough to get me through the traps, but... Wukong's going off top.
So many dead guys. So little time. I love a good chase. Boom. Headshot. Who doesn't like being
An ally has been slain.
Sounds so hard by the
Enemy
brand.
double kill. Enemy triple kill.
They just, I need to ban
Wanna see a
Yi.
hat
It just
trick?
feels like it's just lights out.
You have slain an enemy.
meet the long gun of the left.
Your turret has been destroyed. A summoner you have slain an enemy.
Time for a shakedown.
Turret plating is in fall. A summoner has reconnected.
Yeah, Bard's okay. I don't know. I just feel like Cassio is just a lot better in his baseline cases.
Ally has been slain.
Miss? Not by a inch.
Enemy rampage.
This is not, no, this is basically gold.
Your turret has been destroyed.
I'm bronze 1, but we're getting paired against like gold 2s.
An enemy is unstoppable.
Yeah, lesson of the day, ban Yi.
Let's investigate.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Like everything else we could maybe come back from, but yeah, they did a really weird thing this season where even if you win a lot early on, it just takes a lot longer to climb. Like I think I'm like 80% win rate on this account or something.
Enemy double kill. A summoner has reconnected. An ally has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
I don't know. I just feel like traditional ADCs are still just really weak until you start to get to Diamond a lot of times. Lucian is one that's like maybe Lucian would have enough power, but I just can punish this Ezreal. I mean, a lot of it is the
A
brand
summoner has
was just
disconnected.
applying so much pressure early on that I mean, we did like okay
A summoner has
for a little bit there. The last two dives obviously put us in the red. KD-wise. Yeah, people tend to blame lag and stuff a lot too, kind of in lower brackets. I'll play one more, and I might on this account. Oh, is the camera frozen? No. Okay, I was looking at something else. Good kitty. No, I think the Bork buffs were not the way. Are tanks really even that much of a problem, honestly? Like, they're so scared about tanks. It's like, you've already got Darius, Set, and Garen with Conqueror, and, like, Black Cleaver. You know, how much more do you need? And, like, it's so rare to see Blade of the Ruined King on like non-Yi okay, Yi's banned. I'm gonna ban Lucian actually if I'm gonna do Cassio.
You don't know the heart of this.
Yeah, Caitlyn, it's like you can't apply some pressure. Obviously, I'm not an amazing Caitlyn player, but it just feels like it's just not enough early on. It's like the item, you just don't have enough utility, and the items are just too expensive to get going. That's what I feel like with a lot of AD carries. It's like I just don't have a lot of like hard outplay, you know, kill potential with them as I do with like mages in the bot lane. Specifically Cassiopeia, but even something like Vladimir or Syndra, I just feel like they just do more and they're safer. Vladimir's like the safer version. Hey, what's up, Polly? I could do Syndra here if I was really trying to.
The rivers will run red.
I guess, but it's like, I think that having some tanks in pro are good. It means that people can actually engage. I don't know, like, just buff up Camille and Fiora then. I think that's a better way to do it, is to buff the tank busters rather than give, like, Because, like, no one uses Blade of the Ruined King, except for, like, that's going to be melee, that's going to be buffed by that, except for Yi. I think Irelia has started doing it, some, but I'm still not sure if that's, like, super popular, or if that's just, like, an all-caps build. It just feels like buffing Blade in that way for ranged only, now, or for melee only. Now, if they buffed it for range also, that would be interesting. It could make things like, you know, Lucian too far over the top.
Doubt is the greatest enemy.
Oh my god, this guy had players in his game that didn't have a good game. That's crazy.
There is no antidote for me.
So what he's saying is he overextended and died a lot of times. That's what I'm hearing. Sadie's just old and just like doesn't care. You have to physically just remove her from any sort of food or she's gonna eat it. Yeah, I just feel like you give up too much sustain. I mean, yeah, you do get extra kiting potential, but... Yeah, we'll support Silas. Hey, Gabriel. No, I have my ranks down at the bottom. My main's D4. Right now I'm playing on my Smurf, which is getting matched at, like, Gold 2, Gold 3. I go back and forth. We'll go back on my main after this. Highest I've ever been is Diamond 3. Hey, thanks, Gabriel. Yeah, stay safe out there, man. Yeah. The plague is upon us all. Our daycare is still open this coming week. We're not on lockdown yet. You know, part of me, the penny pincher in me is like, damn it, if I'm paying for this daycare, she's going to daycare. I think, like, only a quarter of the kids went last week. We're in an area that's not that, like, the numbers aren't that high yet. But I'm just like, is it really worth risking, like, my life or my daughter's life or whatever to send her to daycare when my wife and I are at home anyways and we can just keep her at home? Probably not. So we'll just probably keep her out.
So
I just hate paying for it and not using it, but it's just one of those things, and it's like it's so hard to get into like a decent daycare. There's like huge waiting lists and stuff for it, so I mean, we could try to reduce our days, but they're already, I don't know, they're already nice enough to let us do part-time. Like, a lot of reputable daycares do not allow part-time.
30 seconds
So,
until minions
they're
spawn.
nice enough to let me just pay for 3 days a week, and then I take care of her the other 2 days to work around my class schedule. And I like, you know, I like hanging out with her a couple of days a week. When we're not in the era of the plague, you know, I get to take her out and do some fun stuff. We go to the park and things like that. So it's nice to have just a couple of daddy-daughter days.
Minions have spawned.
Careful now. I bite.
How did it reset? Like, literally, how did it reset? Sure, John, what is it?
I know what
That's pretty troll. Well, the Silas is going to be behind on experience, but it probably doesn't matter, to be honest. Gosh, he went for the spell piece. Dude, you're not gonna get that much. So we're basically never gonna have wards. It's gonna take him like 20 minutes to get those wards. He's not gonna be able to get that much harassment off. Well, I can't read all that. Hold on, you have to wait a second. Just applying so much more pressure. He's not even applying that much, he's just doing something. So it's like, I am missing out on some CS. I guess we're basically even, but can't even walk up to the way. Like, I've got to miss that CS. The Silas, like, actually literally does nothing. Thresh is kind of like...
If you don't
I can't really pressure Thresh until I get, like a tier. Once I get a tier, I can maybe pressure a little bit more. Why didn't he just go? He had it, I think. I mean, if he's leveling his E, he should have had the range for it right there. Guess he was afraid that Thresh might flay it or something. We get counter ganked. I don't know what the thought process was there. I thought he could have done it, and then I could have put the W on Thresh, and that would have probably been lights out. No freaking way. Damn it, he got it instead of me.
An enemy has been slain. An enemy has been slain.
I think I could have gotten one more E off.
An ally has been slain.
No. No, I don't think it's an overreaction. I think it's an underreaction of the system. Like, I don't think there's an overreaction to this at all. I think people aren't taking it seriously enough. Because of the hospital capacity, like, we're gonna run out of, like, hospital beds. Like, we have an extremely low amount of hospital beds. It's not that it's, like, individually dangerous to, you know, the vast majority of the citizenship. But it does require hospitalization for like 20% or something of the cases so far. And like 10% of those are critical. And I've seen like tons and tons of different like professional agencies that, you know, will talk about what our capacity is, and it's just not enough. Like, we just don't have enough ICU beds, we don't have enough hospital beds. I just don't know what Silas is capable of, and I'm not really optimistic about that, so... Oh, the hoarding stuff. I think that doesn't really have a lot to do with, I mean, people just like to hoard things. I mean, there are, like, legit supply chain concerns at some point if enough, like, workers get sick, but they're hiring a lot of extra workers, so... People just overreact to that to an extent, but they also don't want to go out. I mean, the more stuff that you have that you can get in one trip, the less trips you have to make out eventually, so... I mean, ultimately, as long as there's not, like, shortages of major stuff, the surgical mask stuff, that's bad. Like, hoarding the surgical masks and things like that, but as far as, like, the toilet paper and stuff, there will be enough toilet paper out there.
An ally has been slain.
People are just, like, not wanting to leave their house, so I don't know. I think it's fine. But yeah, people hoarding the surgical mask stuff is a problem. Although we could do, I think it's called, like, the Stafford Act or something, to, like, force a bunch of places to make those masks. Like, to convert over and make those masks. And then...
Let me help you think for yourself.
An ally has been slain.
Hey, thanks, Kat. I appreciate it. Alright, I'm gonna have to push him in and then fake back, probably. See if we can get a kill here. It is starting to get kind of grim out there. She's like hard pushing. Faster than I am. Dude, this guy seriously just showing up just to like leech some experience? Oh no, he's got Rift, okay. Okay, that was actually a good idea. I'm not sure what lockdown means. I don't think that's a legal term. I assume that you have to... I assume you can still leave to go get groceries or essential travel or whatever, but they probably close, like, parks and things like that. Dude, there's too many minions. There are way too many minions here, buddy. I can't... I'm not risking that. I'm not gonna run up there and lose, like, half a wave of experience and, like, 100 guaranteed gold. I've got flash. Yeah, he pulled him out of my queue. I guess I should have anticipated that that was what he was going to do with the queue. Damn. Missed the cannon there.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Enemy killing spree.
Is LeBlanc gonna show up? Okay. Damn, if LeBlanc would rotate faster, that would have been neat. I can't believe Miss Fortune still had her ult after all of that.
Slain.
Malachi's just getting annihilated top lane.
Not so easy to get out of your system.
I can't TP up there. It's not safe with the jungler, so... Hey, thanks, Momali. I appreciate it.
Patience, darling.
Okay, Thresh is over there. Misfortune really is pretty obnoxious to go against too. Like, that's slow. Can I TP up there for that? I don't know.
An ally has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Seriously? She didn't have that warded. She didn't see me get into that bush. Why are they pinging me? Like, Misfortune's here, I'm here.
Turret has been destroyed.
They're gonna rotate down here, though. God, the support
I'll
divs.
be back
Just
soon.
I think the guy just panicked and picked Silas support. I don't know. Like, he said he usually plays Malachi support, and he's like, the dude picked my champ. I should have just dodged, probably.
Shut down. An enemy has been slain.
We can still win this, though.
An ally has been
Possibly.
slain.
I don't know. Yeah, there she is. Yeah, Olaf's gonna come at me. I think we can maybe beat him. I don't know. We're gonna be able to get the tower, though.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Takes two people and like all four of their subs to kill me. Ow, just run, dude.
Double kill.
Okay, well, I guess that works. He did get the his passive. I don't know where I'm supposed to go here. I guess Dragon's showing up soon. I did get first tower. I mean, so I got a tower. First tower for our team. So I did get a tower, and I mean, it's pushing down here. I don't know. I did get a tower, and I did force them to use all of their sums to kill me. And I got them low, and we ended up turning that into multiple extra kills. So I guess at the end of the day, it was worth. It's just frustrating because I thought I had a chance to get them, and they just barely like sneak away. But that's what happens when you're behind. looked the wrong way. Misclick. I was trying to click to kite this way, and I think I actually accidentally clicked to go closer to them. Well, now Silas is kind of doing stuff, but then there's Darius.
Enemy double kill.
Who's an interesting champion.
Ace.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was, like, I should have been able to kite the Thresh out, but I misclicked on, I was trying to click on the bottom right side of me. I think I either clicked on the mini-map or I accidentally clicked above me. I did something wrong, though, for sure, right there, that made me walk back into him. So that's not my finest game. Dude's bottom. Can we not do? Can we not at least take a look at it?
An ally has been slain.
They're all fucking bot.
An ally has been slain.
Yeah, I don't understand why we can't just Baron right there. Maokai and I think we had enough juice to do it.
Enemy double kill. Shut down.
I think Malachi and I could have done Baron there. Like, I do it so well, especially with blue buff.
My attentions are needed elsewhere.
People just don't understand how much damage it has to do. I'm not debating with you again today, Alistair. No offense. Against Olaf and Darius, you need to kite.
Spineless? No. Flexible.
I think we could be doing that.
Extremely.
Has been slain.
It's all gonna be warded up. And we're fighting in these tight choke points against Anivia. Feels bad. I'm just gonna go push this. Olaf's pushing
An ally
top.
has been slain.
Why not phase rush then? Because you're giving up a hell of a lot for phase rush. And phase rush gives you speed, but it doesn't give you the slow.
Never gone.
Cast players use Phase Rush, some do, in order to kite even better
We all wear masks. Some
against a
don't.
lot of dive, but you're giving up a lot of sustain in longer fights. Like you're giving up 8% off of Conquer, then you're giving up like 15% off of Ravenous, and you're giving up Taste of Blood. So I think in like longer fights especially. Jesus, that was soul. We could have had Baron probably like 3 times this game already. We had 3 chances to get it once. And we're just not taking it. No, it's not. Not for Cassiopeia. You already do a ton of damage. It's also a much cheaper item. It's like 2,600 gold. So it helps give you a more immediate power spike. It's 500 gold cheaper than Leandri's, if that's what y'all are comparing it to. Cassiopeia is fairly unique in that she scales really well, but then she also has very high base damage. So if you can just keep people, if you can just stay alive a lot of times and just kite, you can still do a ton of damage even with a little bit of utility. Nivea is just way too fed.
Your turret has been destroyed. Aced.
Rylai's gives 90, yeah. They've buffed it numerous times.
Your inhibitor
No,
has
it's
been
90,
destroyed.
Alistair. Yeah, but it's really hard to get spell. I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the spell vamp honor is very good, and that's why I like
Wealth is
getting the
valuable
runes that
only as an
allow that.
investment.
Ravenous Hunter and Conquer. You can't get those if you're going Phase Rush.
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
Clean that out so I don't get TP'd on.
Your turret has been destroyed. Has been slain.
How am I getting stuck? Did I get CC'd by something? I feel like there's been a couple of times where I just like locked up.
Your inhibitor has been destroyed.
This game, maybe, I don't know, maybe my mouse work's just terrible this game.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Yes,
Your turret
with
has been
Zyra,
destroyed.
Rylai's does apply with I wouldn't do... I mean, you can do cheap shot with Zyra. I'd rather do taste of blood. I want to see what happened in that last fight while I wasn't moving there. If I just like misclicked or what. And then that one fight. Sadie, chill. Yeah, I was just like, what the hell? I was just like standing there. Oh, I auto attacked a minion or something, and then like my animation stopped me. Yeah. So I was trying to back up, and I guess I just auto attacked that that cannon minion, and that animation stopped me. Okay. Well, that was weird. And then, what happened in that river fight? I thought we had some chances there. I died way too many times that game. But they were also so far ahead. If they get really far ahead and you're playing something like Cassiopeia, you know, if you're going down with the ship, probably. I can't remember where it is. Okay, here it is. So what happened here? I think. Or was it? I missed my cue there. Hey, what's up, Tom? I don't know. That was not a very good mechanical game for me. Alright, we'll go back on the main here. I still had the most gold on the team by like a million miles, but it's just because everyone else, like, their farm was terrible. Like, our jungler was down 115 CS. Mid laner was down 40. Top laner was down 120. Like, we're just so much more poor than they are. But it's fine. Well, I showed up late, and a lot of people, you know, Mr. Magpie just said a lot of people weren't on. Okay, we'll get back on our main here for a game or two. Well, I mean, we probably would have lost anyways, but there were at least, like, 3 plays where it just felt, like, really mechanically clunky. Like, I screwed up some kind of click. Or, like, there was that one play right there where I was trying to kite the Thresh, and then after I queued, I don't even think I was auto-attacking running backward. It's just Cassiopeia automatically, I think, throws auto-attacks. Whenever you queue, she'll try to throw one auto-attack, I think, if you're in range. And, Hey, thanks, Mandarin. I appreciate it. But, you know, I always try to go back if something feels weird or, like, I'm, like, not really sure why we lost a team fight or something. I try to go back and look at it and figure it out. Well, usually it feels like it's a lot easier to click on her. I didn't see the, Okay, we can invite. I like playing with Roach a lot. He's I always want to say like semi-pro. I don't guess that's actually correct because he's not like in the amateur league, but he's a college player. Yeah, Roach is one of the most famous personalities on the channel. I think I've probably duoed, yeah, with Clean, Roach, Young Sammy. Those are probably the three most memorable people. I don't know what Clean's up to. I've seen him, like, he'll log in occasionally and play a couple games. I think he's just, I don't know what, I think he's working or playing some other games or something. I don't know. Clean's kind of like off and on. He hasn't really consistently played League, I don't think, in at least a year and a half or something. I know he was up on that vanilla WoW for a little while there. Oh, this kid trolling? Who was that guy on our team that was the Cassidon? Well, they wanted some lane bullies to come back in, I guess. Like, they basically just buffed his W. Oh, I need to get on that Discord here. Let me see. That's pretty funny. I guess Talon's pretty good against Cassiopeia. Where's Muramana Draven? Nowhere. I think a defensive boot on Rakan is probably best. Either Ninja Tabby or Mercury Treads. Hmm.
The Isles will bloom again.
What counters them? Do I remember the ability? I don't know every single number exactly on every single champion, but I'm pretty familiar with like ballpark, most champions, most like numbers. Especially like really popular ones, especially sports. But I do have like an idea about most champions and sort of what's going on with their kits. If it's like a super complicated one like Rise, I don't know the exact numbers on everything that Rise does or the exact numbers on like everything Aphelios does. But most of them I've got like a decent idea. Pike middle, I guess. They're almost all AD. Yeah. I didn't pick Malachi, or I didn't pick Rakan, because it is hard to pressure Vayne with Rakan early, because she can just tumble away from your engage. So Vayne's kind of an annoying one for Rakan to deal with, whereas Malachi is sort of point click. She's not going to dodge that. Am I ever doing Warhammer 2 again? Yeah, I just released like 2 or 3 videos for it yesterday. I've probably released like 7 or 8 videos this week for Warhammer. But yeah, I am going to release, I'm doing like 3 campaigns right now. So I'm going to release Skaven and Beastman tomorrow, and then I'm going to start releasing a Lizardman campaign after that.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
No. I don't have time to cover the games that I don't already cover.
I do nature's bidding.
Okay. Nice invade.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I already have like 10 episodes on a recent Beastman campaign. I need to add them to a playlist. I don't think I have that one in a playlist. Hopefully they're not sitting in this bush. Okay.
Drink deep of what magic remains.
I don't really, Alistair. I just don't have time to, man. I was playing Witcher 3 a little bit, but... But between school, family stuff, and just doing league stuff, and it's a bunch of other things that I like do around the house and just manage for the family, I just don't have time.
misuse of magic. One with nature.
That's pretty far range on that. Being able to scout the tri-bush from there is pretty nice. That's an unusual path for him to take, but... Oh, there he is, though. Look at that.
We must pull up our roots. Darkness corrupts the land.
I don't know where he is or what he's doing. He's in that river, though. He could be trying to come in behind us.
Defile the road.
So I did miss my chance to get... I didn't think it was safe for me to walk up and melee that cannon minion, though, with Tarek standing right there, and we know that Pantheon's on bot side. Because there was nothing to farm down there. He had double buffs. He was too early for Scuttle, I think. That's what it looked like.
An ally has been slain.
There's too many minions. We're gonna have to... Once we get the bounce back, we can maybe make a play on the Vayne.
I once had peace. It is better to have purpose.
Overstayed. No priority medal.
The idol is over.
Oh, Tarek got it though. Okay, that's nice. It's too many minions.
The mist haunts my every move, yet I resist.
Okay. Well, she tumbled me back into a bunch of minions. I thought we'd have enough power to deal with that, but... apparently not.
An enemy has been slain.
I cannot find peace, not even in the smallest branch.
Yeah, they have a lot of AD, so I've got to get some armor here. Might just go for a, Knight's Vow. I mean... we could also do a Zeke's.
All the saplings.
Could also do a, Righteous Glory.
I cannot stop. The forest needs me. Trees have learned violence.
We won our game with Malachi on our main account, and we've lost 2 on the Smurf.
Reckless mortals.
An enemy has been slain.
Does he want it? Nah, that's alright. We killed their jungler, so we could have gotten their blue, but...
They are only in my way. I will show them what was lost in the
You do get a little bit of value out of your W. Like, I guess it does lower the cooldown on it. I see a lot of people maxing the Q, though. But... they nerfed AP Maokai a lot. Like, his ratios are pretty bad on his abilities. Like, he does decent flat damage on his E, but not as much as he used to.
life. I will trample them.
Killing spree.
Patient as a tree.
Has destroyed a turret.
It really doesn't do any damage to minions. It's not even worth the cooldown. I should have upgraded to a sweeper. Damn it. I didn't think he had enough.
Enemy double kill.
I sure just W'd him, like, out of the bush. I forgot. Wait, how does he... Was it warded? Can he just... I thought he had to target somebody with it. Huh.
An ally has been slain.
I thought he had to have a target. I didn't think he could... Oh, I guess he can target minions. Can he just, like, W the ground? I guess he can because he can miss. Okay. So he just, like, randomly R'd the bush. I mean, he knew I was, like, in the bush, but... Sure, yeah, Sammy. So I should have W'd him as soon as he came up. I thought he was going to try to get vision of me first with, like, a ward before he just R'd the bush, but... That sucks. He got a lot out of that. I might do Frozen Heart here. Since I'm, like, our main tank. I mean, Tarek's okay. It depends on what you mean by bad. Like, he's not gonna do a lot at level 2. Like, he can kill you potentially, but it's not like... If you go on to him, you know, he has high base stats. Like, he can still fight with you.
Defiance.
No way, no way, no way! The Triumph Rock!
Rage against this curse.
Holy... I guess it literally just came up. I don't know. That was definitely like a bronze moment there.
Mortals irritate me like an itch beneath my bark.
I was chain stunned for so long. I couldn't even like auto to get my heal off for a long time. I did eventually get it off, but
Where men fall, saplings rise.
yeah, it is going to be kind of hard to go into Tarek. It's fine.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
Oh shit, is he got out? Roach is like, I don't care, man. I'm not chasing that. He's got the discipline. Metacallie's good,
Destroyed a turret.
from what I've seen. Pretty good.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
In these planets, it is something I have lost.
An enemy has been slain.
Into the forest? I am the forest.
Yeah, maybe I can bait here.
A shadow has fallen. as men have fallen.
We might end up getting surrounded here. I don't want it. We're just kind of waiting on pressure elsewhere. Oh, I should have been using my plants to ward a little better.
Thanks in advance. Sadly you will find a loot of misplays by me, but we are getting there.
Hey, well, that's good to hear, Sammy. Thanks for taking care of those bots for me.
An enemy has been slain.
Living or dead, they are all.
If it gets out of hand, I can we can promote somebody else also. God, this bot's coming hot though.
I do nature's bidding.
Nice.
Rampage.
Drink deep of what magic remains.
Those extra little bushes help out Malachi too around ramps and things like that. Huh. See, why don't Teemo's shrooms give the same kind of vision that Malachi's saplings give? I know they last longer, but it's like, nah, I don't really need dead man. I mean, wouldn't be terrible, but I'm gonna try to get, you know, Knight's Vow to help out Roach a little bit more. Pantheon could come ulting in.
Once more in the grass.
could have W'd, but we don't want to fight that without a Kali or Shyvana. God, Water Dragon, dude. And the plus healing and shielding. Yeah, I mean, against those kind of, you know, champs that dodge a lot, Lucian and Vayne especially, I think Malachi can be very strong. It's hard to hit them with hooks, and it's hard to hit them with Rakan. So those two are pretty annoying to deal with, especially at higher levels of play. I did not. I had Malachi in my top 5 on my support tier list for this patch. I think I had him top 5 last patch too, so I've had him like up there on the tier list. I'm pretty sure for at least a month. It might have only been this patch, but I think last patch he was. I know this patch I had him top 5. Like several things happen. I mean, at one point in time, have I said he's bad? Sure, but a lot of stuff changed, you know, most notably Nautilus and Leona got nerfed a lot. I mean, that's kind of the big ticket. I talk about it a lot on my support tier list video, so just, you know, if you want to know more about it, you can go in and check that out, but a lot of it's just that the competition got nerfed, so. Oh, I don't know. I didn't even realize you were in there. Okay, so let me grab this replay here real quick. Yeah, but Maokai was outshined by Leona and Nautilus for quite a while, but now he's starting to come back in because they've been largely because they've been nerfed out. There have been a couple of other shifts to the meta too. Like you're seeing a lot more of these, you know, kind of mobile champions. Nah, it's fine. We'll get it. I'm trying to think of what else specifically has changed to make him good. I mean, I think that the presence of mind change so that you have the option of going Shirelias on him is actually pretty big as well. If you don't have to be, you know, big and tanky early on. So, like, it's not that Rakan's bad. I still think that Rakan's good. It's just Rakan is annoying to go against Vayne because it's hard to hit her with the W. Same thing with Lucian in lane, whereas Maokai with that point click has a pretty good spot there. I don't think I ever said he was flat out, like, terrible. It's just that Nautilus and Leona just outshined him in a lot of situations. Okay, let me go refill my drink real quick, and then we'll do this coaching session. I'm gonna press the add button, so some of you might see one ad here real quick, and then we'll get back in there. All right, so I'll be back. Sadie, I will get you. Okay. Okay. I don't remember if I was singing in the background or not. I get these like Sesame Street songs caught up in my head. Singing to the cat. Trying to calm her down. I was just kind of... I don't remember if I was singing or not, honestly. But I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Yeah, it's totally possible that I'm a little late to the party on Maokai, though. I know that he has been strong as support for a couple of patches. Top lane, he is getting played more. He was getting outshined top lane by Ornn for several patches as sort of the go-to top lane, especially in Pro. And champions like Set were really keeping him suppressed. Set, Darius, Garen. Just tanks are still pretty hard to pull off most of the time in top lane. They also did the Nami's buff, or the Bombi's buff, which doesn't affect support Maokai that much, but does affect him top. So I don't think he's widespread like insane right now, but I think that he is pretty good. And there are a few things about him that I had overlooked too. Like the fact that you can drop aggro with your W if there are enemy minions around and you're diving towers. And just like how useful that knockback is on the Q versus a lot of engaged champions like Zac, who's really popular right now. If you are going against the weakened version of Leona, Nautilus, things like that, then the knockback is really good too. So, you know, there are several things. The point click with like Vayne rising in popularity now after the nerfs to several of the other 80 carries, it's pretty good against Vayne. So there's been a lot of like meta shifts around him that I think have made him a bit stronger than he was over the last couple of patches, just to kind of put a quick little summary onto that. This feels so much slower in this replay client, my mouse, because it just resets the settings every time. Okay, let me do okay, so let me VOD this. And I know I still have like 10 of these coaching sessions. I'm going to see if I can start releasing at least one per day over the next week. They don't get a ton of views, but it's still nice just to have it there, because I know there are some people that like watching them, and then especially for the people that, you know, commission them, then it's easier for them to go back through and watch it again if they want to. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and VOD it. Hello, buddy. Welcome back. I'm the Strategy Professor. Today we're doing a coaching session. This is patch 10.6, and we're going to be looking at Recon. So special thanks to Sammy for the generous donation. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to donate for a coaching session yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. Usually we do replays so that you can choose a high-quality game that you want me to comment on, but it's possible that we can do a screen capture through Discord and do a live coaching session too, if you prefer that. Although it is a little riskier because you don't know if you're going to get a troll in your game. You may not get the champion that you want to play. You might get off-rolled. But if you're interested, just email, let me know. It's just $25 for non-members, $20 if you are a member via YouTube. Okay. And I am streaming. That's a little too forward against their comp. I think they're a lot stronger. I mean, you guys might be able to take them level 1, but Zaya needs to... No, Zaya took Q instead of W, so I don't think y'all can go level 1. If she took W and y'all were, like, very practiced together, then Zaya Recon can win if you both take W level 1, especially because the Thresh has exhaust. But you would want to go on the Lucian in that case, because Thresh is going to have Aftershock. But in general, I probably wouldn't advise doing that in Silver or Bronze, or I don't remember exactly what this is, but okay, nice. And I am streaming this, so you might hear me talking to the stream as well. Hey, what's up, Casey? What's up, Vayne? Yeah, they do have the jungle. They do have a brand jungle on their team. Okay, that was a good hit. Okay, you got another shield. Okay, nice. You got him. Good. Be careful, Thresh does a lot of damage. You got minions all over you. good. Yeah, I'd just go ahead and take that back. Okay, nice. She should have taken that with you. What was I gonna say? Oscar asked, do I have a Malachi guide? I do not have a Malachi guide, I don't believe. I do, I am gonna do a UV guide that I've been talking about for like a week. Maybe almost 2 weeks. At this point, I really need to do a UV guide. But with a lot of, like, you know, the crazy COVID stuff going on, I've been trying to replan my classes and things like that. But I should have had time to do it. Just the daughter's home all day, my wife's home all day now too, and I just haven't been disciplined with my schedule and going in there talking to her or playing with my daughter when she's usually in daycare. But I should be able to get that out tomorrow. Okay. And I saw that you went for the Presence of Mind build. I personally think that Ulti Hunter, I like Ghost Poro and Ulti Hunter a lot. But there are a lot of people that do the Presence of Mind. If you take Presence, that does open you up if you want to go for a non mana item early. So, or I should say like a low mana item. So if you want to go for like a Shirelia's Rush or an Ardent Sensor or something like that, then Presence makes a little more sense. It is a very good rune. I don't know. It's possible that I overvalue Ulti Hunter, but the extra 25% cooldown on an ult that's as impactful as Rakan's is crazy. And then Ghost Poro, the fact that it gives you 30 AP later is just such a great bargain. And it gives you a little bit of extra vision early on. Next patch is going to be really interesting with Ingenious Hunter. They're basically cranking it up to give like 60% cooldown on items, and there are a lot of active items that Rakan can use. Like Shirelia's, Redemption, Mikhail's, so it'll be real interesting to see how that plays out. I've been a huge fan of that item for a very long time, but it's never really been like... There's one meta where it was like pretty good when Locket and Redemption were both really strong in Season 7, near the start of the season. But anyway. Okay. Yeah, Lucian's really annoying. I was just talking about this when I played a Malachi game a second ago. He's very annoying to try to get to. You can pretty much never get him unless he just like falls asleep at his keyboard or something. You need to buy boots on Yuumi a lot of the time, unless like at really high elo. Sometimes people won't because your allies can help you coordinate to go ward, but you still have to get off of your partner and go ward a lot of the time. And a lot of times your backs might be desynced. You know, your AD carry might die, and you might need to stand around the tower for a little bit and catch the experience. You might need to rotate. You know, she's not amazing at rotations, but if you have boots, you at least have the option to be able to rotate. So I think that going Ionians on Yuumi is probably pretty good. You also have 2 like active combat summoners that you can use very often on her. Typically, it's going to be heal and ignite, so having the 10% cooldown on those is pretty nice too. You get a lot of value out of that. So yeah, if you're like a challenger and your AD carry like knows what warding is, and they actually go around and help you ward so you can use their movement speed and you don't have to use yours, then you may not need it. But I think in solo queue a lot of times you want to get Ionians. And a lot of high-level Yuumis also get boots, even in Challenger, for the reasons I described. Even though people know how to like help you ward, just your ability to rotate better, and just desync backs if you need to. Because if you have to back and your AD carry's not with you, it's just going to take you light years to walk back to lane without any boots. And Ionians, like, aren't that expensive, you know? Like 900 gold. And you're getting the 10% CDR and 10% Summoner CDR, which is, even if you consider that about the same value as normal CDR, then you're getting about 500 gold value out of that. So you're really just paying 400 gold to have a lot more movement speed. So it's like not as expensive as it seems. Excuse me. Okay. Yeah, this is a hard lane. You kind of just have to farm it out here. This Daya is behind, and she feels like, I don't know, she's just not doing enough damage. Daya is pretty hard to play in general, and she's not really in a great state right now. She's been nerfed a lot because of Pro. They really need to lower the cooldown on her ult down to something more reasonable, like 140. Well, this is a really, like, Lucian is probably one of the worst matchups for Rakan as far as ADCs go, because he puts out a lot of damage and pressure early on, and he can pretty much dodge you all the time. You have ult? Yeah, go. Okay. I would just flash ult right on the Lucian. Like, just flash before you even ult. You just kind of walk up, and then just flash on him, then ult, and then W him. Maybe you also blow him up there, but I mean, it happens. That was unfortunate. But yeah, it looked like you were just maybe trying to next level it, like expecting that he was gonna flash that way or something. Sadie, you're kind of stinky. What's going on over there? That happens. I mean, I've had some head scratchers myself, of course. So. Well, it's all good, man. It happens to the best of us. I'm not a huge fan of Mobies anymore. After that price increase, the 100 gold actually is quite a lot early on as a support. They do have a pretty good split of damage. I'd probably do Tabbies. Tabbies will help you tank a little bit more. Lucian is kind of the biggest immediate threat in Xin Zhao. And then Kale, the 10% damage reduction on autos from Kale also applies even if it's magic damage. It's just anything that does an auto attack, the damage gets reduced. I'm pretty sure. I don't remember how her autos are coded, if it's on hit or on attack. The extra damage that but or Ninja Tabby. I don't remember if Ninja Tabby, I don't think it reduces on hit, but I think it reduces on attack effect. I'd have to look at the coding, but either way, she's going to be auto attacking a lot too and doing like pretty solid damage. So I think that the Tabbies probably be what I would do here. Yeah, as far as the Xin Zhao, like in general, and we talked about this last time, I think some of the best things you can do are like just R and run up to people if you can, or in the case of Zen, whenever he tries to go on somebody, then you R and then shield, and then after you've stunned him, then you go for the W. It's pretty much guaranteed that you're gonna get him. Well, those are all a little bit different. I think that Thresh probably still wants Mobies because he doesn't have to go in. Oscar asks, do I think that Ali, Leo, Thresh should buy Mobies? So Thresh, no. Thresh should still buy Mobies probably because he doesn't have to go in and get hit a lot because he can hit his hook and kind of decide if he wants to go in. Okay, nice. Alistar already has a lot of damage reduction with his ult, so he could probably still do Mobies. Let's look at that one more time here. And Leona, I would go for a defensive boot on Leona, either Moby's or Merc's, because she has to go all the way in. She gets a lot of extra value. Her W scales off of resistance, so does Aftershock, so. Okay, yeah, that was fine. You just kind of missed the W, but... Did you have your W the whole time? Or did it just come up? I don't know if the replay client's glitched or not. Yeah, Lucian has dodged it. Okay, it just came up. Okay. Yeah, that's fine then. What do you mean? Tabby? Tabby is armor, but it also has a special ability on it. I think it's 8% of attacks also get reduced, or 8% of damage from basic attacks get reduced. Something like that. I think it's 8%. It might be 10%. It used to be like 12, but they nerfed it over time. I don't know. I disagree with that. After the 100 gold nerf on Moby's matters quite a lot. It does kind of depend on what's going on. What's going to come down to is how valuable is the roaming. You know, it needs to be 100 gold more valuable than it used to be. It needs to be whatever the number is, 11% more valuable than it used to be, 1/9. Okay, so Lucian just bought Bork. You be careful about that. Is it still 12%? I thought they nerfed it down to 10, at least. And maybe even 8. It might be 10. I don't think it's 12 anymore. It should be. I think it's 30 armor.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Sort of. I mean, Moby's are good. They do still provide presence, but that's always been a debate among, or like with Recon, whether you should get a defensive boot or Moby's. Like, it was pretty close. A lot of top-end Recons were still getting defensive boots even before the nerf, the Moby nerf. Yeah, you needed to go for the Lucian there. It's because, like, you lose combat movement speed with Mobies, and that's a really big deal on Recon. Like, you want to be able to move around quickly, obviously, so you can reposition your abilities. And the fact that you have the option to buy, you have the option to buy a bunch of utility items. So if your boots give you a little bit more defense, that might be able to free you up to go for something like a redemption a little more comfortably, or go for something like a Shirelia's a little more comfortably, without being too squishy. It is still 20 on. Oh, it's 20 armor with 12 reduction. Okay. I thought it was 30 armor. I guess. Okay, so maybe what they did was they took off 10 armor and gave it 2% more reduction. They did something to nerf it years ago. Yeah, that's what they did. They took off the raw armor and they gave it more auto attack reduction, I think. So it was like the inverse of what I said. That does make a little more sense, because that would make it weaker against ability-based physical damage, but stronger against autos. So like weaker against tower shots, weaker against you know, like Pantheons, Talons, things like that, but okay, nice. It's good survival there.
Team double kill.
Get working Zeeks. Okay. So yeah, I mean, if you are still really far ahead, if you take your tower early and you're smashing the game, then yeah, you can still go Mobies if you're gonna roam around a lot. Especially if there's another tank in the game. Or if you're already gonna buy tank items anyways. I mean, that's the thing about Rakan, is like there are so many different items that can be good on him in so many different situations. It's like almost any build that, you know, of his best 10 items could be debatable, you know, in almost any games. That's part of the fun with him, I think. Yeah, I've missed quite a few W's, but, you know, it just takes time to get used to it. It's sort of a weird skill shot. I'm losing you now, Mandrid. I'm not sure. This is getting poetic or something. I feel like I'm reading a haiku or something there. What? I don't know, man. Like, slow down. I don't know what's going on. Because I understood you earlier. For the most part. I don't know if this is like autocorrect or what. You got your Zeeks. Okay, so Kale's really far behind. Yorick has 2 items. She doesn't even have her Gunblade yet, so that's strong. Your Talon's really big right now. Yeah, it's the coronavirus.
Shut down.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. Maybe just let it run out on that one. Lucian is starting to feel pretty strong in this meta right now.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
My classes have gone to an online model now, so yeah, we just had about a month left. I teach at a university, which is a lot easier to manage than like teaching in a high school, I think, as far as like online goes. And it's English, so that's nice too, instead of something like chemistry where you don't have labs or anything. That'd just be a nightmare. So yeah, I am still teaching online. It's starting this week on Tuesday. I still have to finalize a couple of things, but I would probably get another armor item because Zen and Lucian are so fed. I probably would just get like Knight's Vow here. Or Shirelius. Maybe Shirelius, because Shirelius is very good with Talon, just to help him run people down. And I would look to play around the Talon split push. Okay, Lucian's bottom. Y'all should be able to rotate and get this dragon. Hopefully Talon doesn't end right here. You have your ult. Let me look at this again. I think you could have... Okay, let me stay. Did you have your ult ready, or... Okay, so you didn't have it right there. Let me see, where did you use your W? Like when he gets knocked up like that, I would have W'd in there. Okay, you did. You knocked him up. Yeah. Yeah, I would have just let that go. Like you went a little too deep for that. I probably would have just let him. Like, you just W and shield back out, and then when the Talon's running out, just shield him. As you noticed, there have been at least 2 big fights where there's that fight, and then there was that fight bottom. Like, when y'all were fighting, like, right here, where Xayah got engaged on, where your ult was, like, if you had it, like, 5 seconds earlier, you would have been able to crush the fight. This is partially, and I know that's kind of like hindsight bias, but it happens a lot more than you would think, where you just need your ult, you know, like 10 seconds faster in situations, and that's where Ulti Hunter comes in. Whereas, like, I feel like the mana, it really is not a problem, especially if you're going Zeke's. It's extremely rare to run out of mana unless it's a very, very long fight, or you're just like going around to a bunch of small fights and you just never back. So that's why I like Ulti Hunter over Presence of Mind on Rakan, is because he already, like, you're probably not going to have mana problems because you're already getting a mana item a lot of the time. Alright, so let's try to set this up here. But yeah, you just, especially if you don't have your W or whatever, you just don't want to go that deep to try to just run at somebody. In general, if you have to take more than like a couple of steps, like 1 or 2 steps to tag somebody else, it's usually a bad idea. Especially if you're going for a relatively squishy build, like with a book there, and you don't have like tabbies or anything. Like if you had tabbies and 1 more cloth armor, maybe, I think it still would have been overstepping. But maybe you could have, like, ulted and tried to grab the person who is reviving from Zillion and then E back out. But as it stood, I think you should just let that go. Okay. Yeah, go. Get Lucian, get Lucian, get Lucian. Okay. That was nice. Ooh. Got the stun? Does he have it? No, he doesn't have it. Oh! Got that demolish proc. Nice. Yeah, I probably wouldn't do Ardent here, just because... Well, what are you buying? Okay, yeah, you're doing Ardent. Because the Xayah is, like, not doing that well, she's okay. I think your big ticket is your Talon, though, and your Yorick, so... I'd probably just get a Shirelius. And Shirelius helps you out as well, quite a bit, with your own engages. Shirelius is just really hot right now, like, I think that's one of the most underappreciated support items. It's like very strong, like 2,000 gold is so dirt cheap, and like that movement speed is extremely valuable, and it even gives you the 300 health, like, it's very solid. Man, you're cracking me up. I don't know what the hell is going on over there, dude. Just imagine someone who's like drugged out of their mind. It's like reminded me of damn, who was that? Coleridge. Something like that with the what was that that Xanadu poem? I can't remember it. The name of it. Talking about like China or something when he was like really high on opium. It's one of his most famous poems, but I unfortunately haven't read it in, I don't even know, almost 10 years. I think it was Coleridge who wrote it. It's not Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner. It was his other one that was like really, he was like high as hell. When he wrote it. I think he said as much in like one of his journals, or like one of his friends said it. I'm sure there were a lot of poets that were kind of like that, especially in that era, but they're having their own little opioid crisis of sorts around that time. I think it was called laudanum. Damn, what is the name of that? I wish I got to teach more literature, honestly, because that would give me a good excuse to go back and read a lot of this stuff. That was one of the most fun classes I ever taught. I got to teach a 1650 to 1900 Brit Lit survey course, and I got to go through and read a bunch of some classic lit I hadn't read in a while. Okay, you got your, not quite, working on it. Yelling out energy. It's fun, it's amusing, I'm trying to, like, make sense of it. It's not Xanadu. He's talking about Xanadu. Damn it, I gotta look this up while we're waiting on this team fight here for this dragon.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay.
Blue team's turret has
We're putting in some work. Yeah, maybe you would have just shielded back and held on to your W. Like, your W's really big for dealing with that. Okay, nice. Popcorn reading at universities. Kublai Khan, that's it. So it's about the Genghis Khan in China. But that was, I think, one of the really famous, like, hey, this guy is really, really high, like, classic literature when he wrote this. Obviously, with some of the 20th century stuff and kind of the drug, you know, hippie generation, there's a lot of that kind of stuff, but the psychedelics especially, Force of Perception and all that, with Aldous Huxley, although that was a novel, I think. Yeah, it was pretty trippy for the time. really surprised. I had a Chinese student in that class, like someone who was like almost right off the boat, like barely spoke English for some reason, was in like this like Brit Lit class that her advisor recommended her. I'm like, most native English speakers have a hard time reading some of this literature because of the vocabulary, and they stuck her in there. But she actually knew that poem really well, like they studied it in China. It was like the one thing that she had read or was familiar with Kublai Khan by Coleridge. Game's a fiesta. Yeah, I think face checking that was a little rough. I think warding, maybe, I just wouldn't even go anywhere near that. Like, I don't know. You do have two people bottom. Just let Talon get pressure and make someone go down there. I would have maybe just like, because here's the thing, you know they're not doing Baron, right? Because you have that warded, so they're not doing anything valuable if they're there. So there's no reason to take the risk to walk over there because you already have a secure ward on Baron because they don't have a team. So you're under no pressure to try to get a quick ward there. And Talon's already pushing bottom, so just wait on someone to go match him.
Blue team double kill.
Oh my gosh. Got out. Well, the university activities are, we're doing them online now, but as far as like popcorn reading, in general, there's probably some club, like some poetry club or something, or they might have some events where people read classic stuff. They do have readers come in for, like contemporary people that are publishing stuff, but a lot of it's academic papers. I don't see a lot of like, hey, let's bring in this poet, have them read. Although they do that some. They don't do that as much with like classic work. That would be something where you join like some kind of club, some kind of like undergrad club or something, or just get together with your friends and do it. Okay, nice. That was good. We would, when we were studying for comprehensive exams, we would do that. We wouldn't read it ourselves, but we would get together and talk about classic work. There's like a group of 4 of us, master's students, that got together and studied. We had like a reading group. Man, that was fun. I really liked my master's program. Ever any skin that I really like? Like, I'm actually curious if Mandarin is a bot at this point, just because like it's so illogical what he's saying, but I think he's just high. Because he was saying something that was very relevant to what we were doing earlier, you know, with the debate about ninja tapping versus movies. And I'm wondering if it's like, you know, another language is getting translated or something, like running through a translator, but even that seems a little, I don't know. Huh. I don't think he's a bot, and I don't think it's an English, like an ESL thing, or like a translation thing, but I don't know. Challenging me to expand my reasoning. Postmodern. Okay, nice. What are you getting at your third? Yeah, I wouldn't really do Athenes here. I mean, they just don't have that much magic damage. The Zillion does do some damage for sure, but I would do either a Shirelia's or a Knight's Vow. Put on one of your people to help protect him. Mikhail's could be decent. Mikhail's does would cleanse like a Thresh Hook or something. It's alright, Mander. I mean, we're not gonna ban you or anything. You're amusing. We like you, buddy. I don't know what to say. Half of what you're saying. Oh, it's on. Nice. Got the dodge. Yeah. Yeah, York's putting in some work up here. Split push maniac. Split genius. I guess those autos on the next there. Okay, nice. Okay, so yeah, as you said, you missed several W's in there, so just work on that. It takes some time. I think it helps if you use your R, like we talked about last time. Use your R and then E over to somebody and try to get the charm first, and then go for the W. Because you're not gonna miss if they're already charmed. And you can R plus E immediately. You don't have to wait on any sort of delay. Like you have to wait that half a second to use your W or to use a flash. So that's really useful. So I think that can help out if you shield first. Get closer to the person if you can, and then W, especially on champions that are trying to dive in there. So on something like a Zen that's trying to get on your AD carry, instead of trying to like W them out of nowhere, you know, shield first and then go for the W, because the closer you are to them, the faster it's going to go off. So I think that's something that would really help out a lot. You know, consider getting, like we mentioned near the beginning, consider doing Ulti Hunter. We saw there were at least 2 fights, maybe more, where if you had your ult up a little bit faster, then it could have made a huge difference. So there are some people that do presence of mind, but I think if you're opening up with Zeke's, you're already gonna have enough mana there. As far as itemization, I do like the opening with Zeke's. I would heavily consider doing Shirelia's in a lot of matchups. As I said, against them, like probably something like a Knight's Vow second could have also been legit. I think that Tabby's would have been good because it was really the Lucian and the Zen that were very strong early on. So I think that would have been pretty clutch. And then we mentioned kind of the warding situation around Baron. If you have eyes on Baron, then you don't need to go like face check any bushes to get better vision. If you want to get in there and get better vision, you need to go with somebody. Just get some shallow vision first. Like just put a ward in that river bush there near the Baron, the one that's near mid lane, and then just go push up the lane with somebody else. And then once the lane is pushed up, that'll flush them out, because they're going to have to go down there to catch that wave. And then once they come out to go get the wave, that's when you can go in with your sweeper, clean out all their wards and ward it up. But yeah, you don't want to go in there just blind when nobody's on the map. You know, I guess a couple of people are on the map, but when 3 of them are missing, you don't want to do that. So just go with, you know, just wait on a mid laner or something. Go, you know, push up the lane, and then that will force them to catch it. And then once they catch it, you can go in there and sweep out all the wards. Yeah, no, I thought it was good. I mean, I'm just trying to point out stuff that you could do. But I thought that, you know, a lot of, you know, several of the plays were very good. You got multiple knockups. There were a couple times you got a little greedy with the charm, like under the tower mid lane and stuff like that. But overall, I thought you did make some really solid plays. So I thought that was good. It's definitely an improvement. Definitely getting there, getting better. Yeah, I think definitely tweak the itemization of the runes a little bit, and that'll probably help out. And then some of those other things, just really focus on like trying to use that shield to protect somebody and get a better position, and then go for that W if you can. There's sometimes where you can't do that, but I think a lot of times holding the W just a little bit longer, just to wait on the enemy to use their mobility, to wait on your Zen to use his dash, or wait on Lucian to use his dash before you go for that W, then you'll have a much higher probability of landing it. So, anyways, okay. That's going to be it. Thank you very much for watching, as always. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to like and subscribe. If you'd like a coaching session yourself, just email me at thestrategyprofessor@gmail.com. Let me know what you have in mind. We can set it up. We can also try one of those live sessions if you want to use a Discord screen capture, but otherwise, we'll see everybody next time. Have a good day. All right, and I think that's going to be it for the stream as well. We'll, well, it happens, Sam, if you haven't played in a while. It could start off, I mean, I had a really rough win rate early on as well. I had like a low 40s, I think, near the beginning of the season. I just had a rough start also, so sometimes it just takes a little second to just get back in the game. But anyways, so sorry, I did get a bit of a late start today, so I think I'm going to have to go ahead and cash in early so I can help take care of my daughter in the morning. But we'll get in here tomorrow, and I'll try to be closer to on time, around 10:30 or so, 10:30 or 11. And I did do an all-champion tier list that I'm going to release, and I'm going to do a Yumi guide for tomorrow as well, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, that's going to be it. Thank you very much. Have a good day, and we'll see everybody next time. As soon as I log out of this here and get over there. There we go.